Welcome back, everybody. We're back once again for the Excellence in Education with Pike County School Systems. I am joined today by a very special guest. I'm Jeff Vanderbeck, publisher of the Appalachian News Express and several other papers in the region. I'm joined today by a very special person, and I never want to do a gotcha question, but I'm going to start out with a gotcha question. I'm joined by Boo Hager. He's principal of the Belfry High School. Welcome, Boo.
Thank you. It's good to be here, Jeff. Thank you.
What is your real first name?
My first name is my birth name, Gerald Byron Hager II, and not many people know that. So, but Boo's the nickname got stuck on me by one of my older brothers when I was young, and it just kind of stuck from about the age 1 up. So I've been Boo. I would say 95% of the people don't know Gerald is even the name. But
well, it's funny because I was talking to Randy, our sports guy, and Corey, our my editor here, and I said, all right, so Boo's coming. Does anybody know his first name? They go, no, that's all we know him by is Boo.
Yeah.
So I went on to try to find Boo Hager, and I keep getting Sammy Hager. So
yeah,
you don't look anything like him. So well, welcome to our podcast. It's the Pike County Schools Excellence in Education. Tell me a little bit about Boo Hager. Who are you? Where are you from? What do you do? And why are you at this school level that you're at?
Okay, I'm a graduate of Belfry High School, 2002. Lived, was raised in Belfry. Went to the feeder schools there, Varney and Runyon. Varney shut down, and then again went to Belfry. Went on to the small college, a Division II college, West Virginia State University. Played baseball there, so I was a baseball basketball player.
Wait a minute. You mean to tell me a guy from Belfry went on and did you get a scholarship?
Yes.
Scholars. Do you know what a football is? It's the wrong type of ball.
It was, I never, for whatever reason, I was not not that I didn't like it. I mean, I felt like I could have been pretty good, but, again, my dad kind of knew that I had a golden ticket with baseball, and I knew I was pretty good from a young age and was successful. And, he thought he was protecting me and said, you're not going to play football. And yeah, I think I'm one of I think you can count on one hand the guys that maybe there was a pretty good athlete that didn't play football, which, there's not many of us.
Sure.
But, but that was, yeah. So that was me, and then went on to play and had a good, successful career in baseball. And actually played in the Division II World Series in 2005. So that was an unbelievable experience. And
bet it was.
It was really, really fun. And played for a legend, Cal Bailey. He had over 1,000 wins, and learned a lot about life, philosophy, and really shaped me into the person I am, the educator that I am, and I dabbled into coaching for a while, and, I've got kids of my own. So Cal really instilled in me just the philosophy of doing things the right way. And what's crazy is, I come back to Belfry and all this stuff comes full circle and get to work with Coach Haywood,
Sure.
And it's almost like Coach Haywood and Cal are like almost the same person. And so it's so crazy, just their philosophies on, just doing things the right way every day, getting a little better each day, and just, doing the right things even when nobody's looking, having integrity about yourself.
I was just going to say, that's what the definition of integrity is all about. It's doing the right thing when nobody's looking.
Yeah.
So when you go to college, come back, and where did you start teaching?
Yeah. So I was teaching, actually, again, went West Virginia State's in Charleston, and I taught a couple years up there, and there was nothing, I was wanting to get back home, families there, and I liked it in Charleston. But again, there was just a calling to something to come back home, and got a job actually at Belfry Middle School. And I taught there from 2008 up until last summer. Mr. Ganner retired. He was the, principal at the high school for years. And a few years ago, I don't know, I had a calling on my life, I think, to be an administrator. And again, I think it just all goes back to, to Cal, and just wanting to be a leader. I was a leader, on the field, on the basketball court in high school. And I just had that calling, and it's wild because nobody wakes up one day and says, I want to be a high school principal, and we'll deal with all this craziness that happens on a daily basis. Like, nobody does that. So, and I really think it was a calling from God that I'm supposed to be here. And it's just funny how it worked out, and interviewed for the job and applied for it and ended up getting it. So, I was a teacher for 17 years at the middle school level, and then
Wait a minute.
I'm trying to
teacher for 17 years.
Yes.
You look like you're 15 years old.
I'm in my early 40s, so yeah.
So, you mentioned, work going through a college D2 championship.
Yep.
What did you take from your athletic career, if you will, to your academic career? And what correlations are there between consistency between sports and teaching?
Yeah.
What did you take with you?
And I think it goes back to especially sports. Again, I was so blessed to work under or to play under Cal Bailey, and Cal died a few years ago of a brain tumor, but he was he's against like Coach Haywood 2.0, and I think that's why and we talk all the time about Belfry and Belfry football and the culture, but it goes beyond that. It goes beyond, and kind of tie this all together. It's about doing the right things every single day, and it's about as so many of our former players and students go on, like you want to better yourself, you want to better the community, and I think for me, the experiences that I had, and then coming back to Belfry, I seen an opportunity for me to positively impact our school, our community, again, because I seen the opportunities that I had. And again, Belfry's always had a great tradition, academically, athletically. It's always been, again, it's just a really special place. And I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted just to continue to impact that and really just continue to build upon that. So
Sure.
that's kind of, for me, it was a full circle. Never, again, if you told me 20 years ago, you're gonna be principal of Belfry High School, I'm like, you're out of your mind.
Sure.
But it's just funny how I truly believe it's a calling. It was a calling upon my life. I'm not saying it's not easy, because there's things that are hard, with the job, and anytime you're in education, that there's challenges, and and even from 5, 6, 7 years ago, just the challenges of social media and cell phones and technology and AI and all these things that are coming down the pipe. You got to be willing to be flexible, and you gotta be willing to learn and change with that. And if not, you're going to get stuck and left behind, and so is the school and community. So again, I think for me, it's just wanting to positively impact our community and continue to raise the bar for Belfry. So.
You talked about a couple times, you mentioned, doing the right thing. In your opinion, in your philosophy, what is the right thing, and does your staff buy into that?
Yeah, again, and I'm an open book, and I think that's the good thing. And again, I keep things simple. I'm not this complicated thing, and what you see is what you get. I feel like this, I'm open with them. I have just real conversations with them, and for me, doing the right thing is just doing what's right by kids. And I try to make that decision. Not always adults. Because sometimes that's hard, even whether it's parents or whether it's teachers or whatever. But if we're doing right by kids, making those decisions on a daily basis, because there's 57 decisions that come down the pipe every single day. And for me, my compass is, okay, what is the best for kids?
Sure.
And that's the thing, again, and that was instilled upon me a long time ago. And even as I began to take the job and was beginning mentor for the job, Mr. Bowen that's kind of what he says a lot of time. You make decisions for kids, and I've kind of taken that, and it's helped me. And again, I've had a lot of really good mentors along the way. Rod Varney is Mr. I don't know if you guys know Rod, but Rod was a principal at Belfry High School. He was there when I was there.
Sure.
Principal.
Right.
And he'll come by every now and then, and he's been a really good mentor. And that's what, again, just a good mentor. And that's what he always says to me is, you just do right by kids. When in doubt, err on the side of kids. And I try to do that on a daily basis. So, and I feel like the teachers kind of see that in me. And I feel like we've got a really good rapport, really good culture at Belfry, and feel like they bought into it. And again, I feel like we're in a good place right now.
What talk about your staff? Tell me what you've got going on. You've got teachers, you've got support staff, even from the custodians to the food service folks and the bus drivers. Tell me what makes it and that whole Belfry aura. I mean, I've been here for 26 years, and you've got traditions. You say Belfry High School, a Belfry education system. Man, people just light up because that's known statewide.
Yeah.
Tell me about your staff.
Yeah, that's crazy, and it's crazy because I wanted to kind of talk about that, or at least mention that, because it's true. Like everything, and like you said, the word tradition, and it truly is. And anybody that listens, I'll tell them. Belfry is such a special place. Not saying it's not not better than or anything like, but it's just it's a community. and you see that sometimes, I think, in small towns. And I think that one of the biggest reasons might be is Belfry's not necessarily like, it's not like the city of Belfry. It's all these different communities that come together as one. The school's been there. They celebrated the year before I become principal, the 100-year anniversary of the school. So, like, that tradition is there. It's not like this new school. It's not a consolidated school. And I think that's really what separates. Again, I'm not saying it's any better, any worse, any less, but it's just you have that tradition. And a lot of our faculty members, I would say 90% of them are Belfry graduates. Maybe more than that, whether it's custodial staff, whether it's our lunchroom staff, our teachers. We have a really high retention rate, and we try to, always try to, for me, I think one of the most important jobs as a principal is to look down the pipe. Okay, I got X, number of teachers retiring or going to meet, who's the next person in line. So I think one of the most important jobs as a principal is to make sure that we get good people in those places. Again, I'm new. I'm in year 2, so I haven't had a whole lot of that yet. But it's not. It's
But at least you're looking at down the road, because you're not naive enough to think
exactly
everything's going to stay the same because of the way the retirement system works and
exactly.
everything else.
Yeah.
So tell me about educating children in this day and age and making them job ready. How much stress do you put on that as far as an importance?
Yeah, I think and especially in high school, gosh, it's so, it's one of the most important things. Not every single kid that we have is going to go to a 4-year college. And I think it's really important we try to communicate that. And that's one of the first things that I learned, probably 15 years ago, and maybe 10 years ago, probably when I was kind of going through my principalship and kind of understanding, it may be something I want to tinker with, and as I get into it, a lot of those classes, it's, especially the high school, it's making sure kids today understand that not everybody's ready. Not everybody needs a 4-year college degree. It might be I'm going to Big Sandy, or I'm going to go to Southern, and I'm going to be a rad tech, or I'm going to be a welder, or I'm going to be a mechanic, whatever that might be. Not every single student needs to go to a 4-year. Because you can make just as much money getting you a certification in 6 months, 18 months, whatever it might be. So I think it's really important to us, and I feel like we do a good job, and it's something that for me, it's definitely an emphasis, is making sure that our kids understand that, again, what do you want to be and where do you see yourself? And our counselor does a really good job of mentoring our kids. Our teachers do a good job of that. But again, I think it's just making sure that our kids know, because they're the ones that, at the end of the day, we have all these rating systems, we have all these things that we're accountable for, and then post-secondary readiness is a big thing. But when you cut through all the mess, when you cut through all this stuff, at the end of the day, is this kid going to graduate? Are they ready for the real world? Are they ready? Or, what are they going to be? So, and every kid's got a different story. And it's important that we understand that. And again, looking at a kid in 2025, 2026, it's different than it was 5 years ago. It's different than it was 10 years ago. So we've got to be, as a school system, and what we look at we've got to be flexible and being knowledgeable on what's coming down the pipe.
You just hit on a very important point. I was going to bring up this next question. Think back to when you were in high school in the late 1990s, early 2000s.
Yep.
The culture or the mindset of the students in high school when you were a student, how has it changed to the culture of the students now? The students 25, 30, 28 years ago, not very many job opportunities. And homes were a little bit different. There was, some other opportunities available. Now we've got technology that's changed the world. We've got grandparents raising kids.
Yes.
And there's more job opportunities. Have those job opportunities funneled down to your system so that you can talk to those kids, the difference between when you were in high school versus now?
Yeah, I think, I think we, again, I don't want to be naive, but I feel like we do a good job of communicating, to be open-minded. Like, what you don't have to just go into, what dad did or what grandpa did or whatever. Again, when I was in school, it was coal mining.
Sure.
Whether it was coal mines, truck driving, or you're working,
you're support staff from working for. Diesel mechanic.
Yeah,
like that.
And now, you're looking at in Pike County, Pikeville Medical Center, ARH, or you're in the school systems. Those are probably the biggest employers in Pike County. But there's so many more opportunities in 2025, 2026 now, for technology, information technology. And again, we have luckily have a really good relationship with ARH, with Pikeville Medical Center. And they come into our schools and they're really good. They have job fairs. We sent our kids back in September to a huge job fair, over here at the Appalachian Wireless Arena. And they do a really good job of communicating that. And I feel like we do too, but there's definitely more opportunities now, I think, than it was in, late 90s and early 2000s, when I was in school. And I'm not that old, but,
Right.
but I'm old enough to see this huge change, this huge shift in, opportunities, this huge shift in education where it became, education was about lecturing, sit and get, we used to call it. And now now it's all this collaborative learning. And it's just, what teachers do now is completely different what they did 25 years ago. So,
Belfry's got a great technology program. They also have,
Yep.
don't you guys have like some sort of robotics?
Yes.
So talk to me about that. How did that come about? What kind of students are involved with that?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
So we've had a really strong robotics program there for many years. Dr. Haritas, he retired a couple years ago. He kind of sort of built that from the ground up, and we actually was having a conversation today with the leaders of that, with our TSA program, and it all kind of ties together. This so we actually will be sending kids to Gatlinburg. I think it's mid-March, about March 19th, 20th, I think it's the date. But anyways, it's just, we have our leaders in the school, and they, again, it started with Dr. Reedus, and he built this program to where it was, nationally recognized as one of the better robotics programs. And again, even though he's retired and moved on and moved away from the area, luckily that's something that we want, and it's something that I want to, as a principal, I want to continue to grow. I don't want to let that kind of fall by the wayside, even though we've lost a really strong teacher now, but we've got some other teachers that are kind of willing to kind of pick up that mantle, and kind of build that. So it's something that we've definitely been really strong in, and something we've been proud of for several years.
The students have a lot of an interest in that program.
Oh yeah. We're lucky now. We have a really good TSA program at the middle school level, or middle school level. Andrew Baldwin does that down there, and he's, again, I've co-worked with him for many years, and we're seeing probably even more interest in that now than we have, because it is at the middle school level, and we're just kind of bringing those kids right up. Blessed to have to have that at the middle school level. So, it's just something that I want to just continuously grow, continue to, to be good at school. Exactly.
When you were in high school, did you ever think that Belfry High School was going to have a robotics program?
No, I think my Dr. Harias had just come to the school when I was there, so it wasn't something. But again, it's crazy. Again, I'm not that old, but it's insane how much education has changed. The opportunities are just so much different now. There's just so much more. Again, with technology, you can collaborate with so many different people around the world, and again, it's really there for the taking. And we're blessed. I'll tell anybody that'll listen, Belfry special. It's different. We've got really, really good kids, and it kind of makes it easier, I guess, because our clientele just seem to buy into the excellence. Our teachers hold our kids accountable, and we try to push them, in every program. So I don't know. It's just, again, like I said, Belfry is for me, it's just something that we want to continue to push and I'll say be the best, but just be the best we can.
Sure, and take care of kids.
Exactly.
Where do you see education in 5, 10, 15 years from now?
I think it's going to continue to evolve. Again, I'm young enough to be open-minded about the changes that are coming. AI is such a big component that I don't want to miss out on the good and the bad with it. And I think that's something that we talk about all the time with our staff is, it's not something to run from. I think because that's what education, that's going to be a big part of that, is just, continue to incorporating technology. And you don't want to be 100% technology, because I think the best classrooms are a combination of, we're working. It's not all online. It's not all on paper, but it's a good combination.
Sure.
to me, those are the best classrooms because not every kid learns different. Kids haven't changed.
Sure.
Culture, society, and technology. Those things will continue to evolve, and as educators, we've got to be
On top of that,
you do, and I think you can't be stuck in this is the way education is. So again, I feel like that's something.
Well, I think what you just said is about being open-minded. I think
Yes.
as a principal, you have to be open-minded. You have to absorb and embrace the technology that's available to you, because the more that you embrace it, the more you understand it, the better you can educate the children with. And the better educated a child is, it's like your kids. You always want your kids to be better than what you've done, and you want your students to do better than what you had and the students before that.
Exactly.
So, and there's I can't remember, there's a district, I think it's New York City, where they banned cell phones in classrooms. What's your feeling on that?
Yeah, for us, it's typically a non-issue, and that's and that's something there's a state law that essentially the instructional time you have to have those up, and the only time that our teachers will pull that out, there's sometimes that they use it, but again, for the most part, for us, good teachers teach, and it's if you're good teachers, it's a non-issue.
Sure.
Again, there's a place for it. There's definitely, I've been in many classrooms, observing classroom. Even as a teacher, I would, there's certain times I would use it, but you got to be on top of it. It's not something if you're not a very good teacher and you don't have good classroom management, kids are kids. Sure. Adults are adults. Right. They're going to do exactly what you let them get away with. Exactly. So again, just being bluntly, my feeling is, a good teacher, if that's something you want to utilize within the classroom,
sure,
not something we're distracted and we're texting, we're on Snapchat and all this other silliness that's non-education related. No, but again, it's just being open-minded, and you can't be closed off, and education's got to be something that the kids have to buy in, and they've got to be motivated, because if you lose that, then everything else goes down the pipe. Sure. You got to have those relationships, and again, that's what, to me, again, cut through the mess, cut through the crap. You got to have good relationships.
So two more questions. What are you most proud of, and where is Boo Hager 10 years down the road?
Ooh. What am I am most proud of? You mean as a school or personally or whatever?
Dude, this is your show. Yeah. I'm just here.
I am most proud of, I think professionally, that leading a school that has the culture, leading a community that has the traditions that Belfry does. I am very blessed. I always say proud, but I'm just humbled and blessed to have that opportunity. I'm proud that we have a place, again, that we've got a school, a safe place, that kids are pushed, that we hold them excellence, not only, whether it's on the football field and on the ball court, on the baseball field, in the class.
I was going to say, you better say baseball.
Well, yes, for sure. I'm definitely proud of that, on a personal level. I've got 3 kids, so I'm invested. I've got 3 kids that, all under, I've got a 13 and 2 twin girls that are 11. So, married. So I'm very proud of that. So I'm invested in our community. I'm invested in education. 10 years from now, maybe I'm still principal. I'm not sure if it doesn't take me out, but I can see myself being here. And I don't, again, I don't know if I have aspirations to move up the ladder. I don't know. I'm taking a day at a time. Happy to be where I'm at. I'm just, humbled to again, I'm sure. I'm called a leader, but again, it's, the teachers and the staff that, that work behind the scenes. They're the real workers in our school. So
it sounds like in your 2-year tenure, you've taken a lot of your personal growth through education, through your sports, with you through your academic career, your professional career. You've got a great staff surrounding you. Yes. You are always putting the children in the community first. You're looking for technology to help lead the way.
So.
And you're going along, and whatever falls in your lap, you'll address accordingly. But your plan is to make sure you continue to educate, put the children first. Yeah. Make sure teachers, community, children, family all come first, and whatever happens.
I couldn't say that any better. That's a very, very, that's a good way to say it. And again, just make sure that we are always trying to do the right thing and just make our community proud and continue to push and be a I want Belfry to be just continue that excellence, and it really is. Again, in all aspects, and just continue to get. It's not perfect, it never will be, but we just.
But you're getting there, and you're
Yeah.
making strides to make things better.
Exactly.
So once again, thank you for joining us this episode of the Pike County Schools Excellence in Education. I'm pleased and proud to have Boo Hager. You told me your first name, but I can't remember.
So it's funny. Gerald, my college Gerald, Gerald. Gerald.
I thought you said there was something else.
Gerald. Well, Byron is my middle name, and I'm actually my name after my dad. So I'm Gerald Byron Hager the second. But funny story.
So all the kids in Belfry, when you see Mr. Hager, call him Mr. Gerald.
Yeah. I've got a handful that do that as a joke sometimes. So, but my college coach says I refuse to call a grown man by the name of Boo. So he called me, my hitting coach called me Gerald and as a joke. And even to this day, I don't talk to him much when I talk to him. How you doing, Gerald? So, I think the only person in America that calls me Gerald that.
Well, Gerald, thank you for being my guest today. I appreciate it. I want you to continue to do the fine work that you're doing at Belfry. Make us proud in this part of Kentucky and this part of the state. We need leaders like you. Continue the great work.
I appreciate it. Thank you for having me, and it's an honor to be here.
Thanks for being had.